All right, everybody, good afternoon and welcome back to our afternoon session for the 6th annual Oklahoma Family Caregivers Conference, Caregivers Rock. I'm Ashley Robinson, your conference MC. You saw me this morning, you saw me last year. We're back here for the afternoon session, and we have a wonderful list of presenters up for you this afternoon. As a reminder for this afternoon session, we'll go over a couple of housekeeping items just to remind you and let you know what's going on. Our online attendees will be muted to minimize all background noises. I don't know if you can hear the dog barking in my background. That's why I'll be on mute after I'm done talking. But online attendees can put all of their questions or comments in the Q&A feature. This is in the bottom of your screen. There's a little Q&A icon that's got 2 text boxes, and you can put questions or comments in there because we are monitoring it at all times. Recordings of today's sessions will also be posted on okcares.org website. I know we had a couple of questions before about whether or not the slides would be shared, and these recordings will be shared on the okcares.org website. Also, I know that in the morning session, there were quite a few gift card winners. And so this afternoon, there will also be opportunities to win gift cards throughout both virtual and in-person sessions of our conference. Attendees must be present on Zoom or in person to win. So make sure you stay plugged into our conference today. Attendees will also have an opportunity to complete an evaluation following the end of today's conference to get another gift card. So make sure that after today's over, you go and fill out that survey to tell us how the day was and any feedback, because you could win a gift card. All right, speaking of the gift cards, we love a gift card. And you've got to be present to win. So hopefully you're already back from lunch and you're ready to get this afternoon session started, because DJ Lex is going to give us our next gift card winners. I think he's going to play some tunes for us too, which is always wonderful. DJ Lex tunes are the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the program to give away 3 more gift cards. Who is going to be those lucky winners? I am going to dig way down into that hopper and pull out 3 lucky winners. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3. You heard me right. 3 winners is coming right up. All right, we have winner number 1 is Sandra Sabo Blending. Congratulations. Winner number 2 is Jody Colbert. And last, and surely not least, we have winner number 3, Shamika Thomas. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you, DJ Lex, for that tune. You're simply the best. And congratulations to our gift card drawing winners. They will be in the mail to the address you used in registration. At this time, we now have the privilege to learn about Oklahoma Able Tech's Smart Home, presented and demonstrated by Louise Rulford, Short-Term Loan Program Specialist. Louise will demonstrate remote support devices and smart technology that can provide individuals with disabilities the opportunity to be more independent in their homes and or to receive remote support from family members or caregivers. To learn more about Able Tech, please visit www.okabletech.org. tech spelled tech.org. Thank you for being here, and we'll turn things over to you, Louise.
There we go. Spotlight on. Hopefully everybody can see me. So hi, my name is Louise Rolford. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Yes, I am the Device Learning Program Specialist at Oklahoma Able Tech. And thanks everybody for joining us for the afternoon session. Now after lunch, people can get it's nap time for me anyways, after lunch. So like she said, today I'll be taking you through a tour of Oklahoma Able Tech's device reutilization office. This is where we house our smart home. So it'll be a brief tour, brief overview. There will be room at the end of the tour for questions. And then if you guys want any more information, you want maybe an in-depth in-person tour, you can find out more information on our website. We have a YouTube channel with a playlist about every device in the smart home. And then in person, we also have Amy Woods in the Tulsa conference location, and then Austin Bricker at the Oklahoma City conference location. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin the tour. We'll go ahead and start at the front door here. I did have to close the blinds because the glare. So here at the front entrance, we have a ring alarm security system that is located on our door right here. If you listen, there's a little chime that goes off. So whenever that door is activated or these two sensor pieces are removed from each other, that chime will go off. There's different noises for the front door and the back door. That way the employees in these offices know exactly which door is being opened. So caregivers can use this at home as well. If maybe they got like a sleepwalker or something, or some people will put them on windows or pantry doors for things that might be other hazards that we want to prevent. Over here to the right of the door is a smart light switch. So this light switch has, well, let me see if I can get a little bit closer. This light switch has been connected to Apple Home and also Alexa, so Amazon Home. So we could use our voice control to activate or deactivate the light switch. Over here, we've got a smart humidifier, which also has essential oils that can be placed inside. And then more information for those who are wanting to make home modifications. Kendra Orcutt and Safe in Home, both are partners of ours, as well as Oklahoma Human Services. Over here, we've got a foldable shopping cart. And then here is our bathroom area. So this whole smart home is just to give individuals an idea of ways that they can modify their home, make it more accessible for individuals, or make it easier to work out of for caregivers. So this shower display shows a bedside commode, which it's a bedside commode, so it goes near the bed, but that's just an example. We also have a lifting, folding shower chair. So it can fold flat against the wall, be out of the way. You'll see two different kinds of shower railings here, and then a couple non-slip rugs. And then we also have the reacher grabber tool. So it takes just a light pressure to activate the force. You squeeze this trigger down here, and the silicone gripped ends will push together to be able to grab something. So now we'll go over to the front windows. Let's get you a little bit closer here. So there is a lot going on in these front windows. Lots of different devices that are all pretty similar. So down here below, these are smart plugs. This is the Wemo smart plug, and then this is the iDevices smart plug. So what these devices do is they take normal everyday home devices and turn them into a smart device. So you would plug this outlet into your wall, plug whatever your device is, whether it be like a hair dryer or something different, plug that into here, and then you'll be able to activate it remotely using an app or by using voice control. So take any everyday device and turn it into a smart device with the smart plugs. Here we've got a switch bot, something similar that will activate devices that are not smart devices. This is the Simple Touch, so it operates similarly but has a different function. This has a countdown number of hours. So if you have someone who is plugging things in and is maybe forgetting to unplug them or turn them off, this will shut it off immediately. So I'm thinking like maybe if somebody is ironing laundry and they forget to turn off the iron. If you set this timer, the Simple Touch will shut it off for you to reduce risk and provide a little bit of added safety. Now over here, we've got two different kinds of dressing aids here. So this has a shoehorn at the end, extended stick with the S hook to help someone get dressed more independently, and then the button hook with zipper pull. This C hook goes into the zipper. This top part helps you put your buttons on, get dressed independently, and can definitely provide some relief for the caregivers as well as the individual having that self-assuredness again. And then so what we also have are 3 different kinds of medication dispensers. This is the Hero medication dispenser. It's pretty high tech. It can be packed up and taken on the go if you're traveling. All 3 of these different dispensers, you can set scheduled alarms. You can have it read to you. They're like voice activated. They can hold multiple different medications. This one holds up to 10 separate medications at a time. All of them have apps that they would connect to. So they're all different in their own ways and all are at different price points. Another thing that I meant to say earlier, you guys will see these white cards around here. These are QR codes. So there's a brief description of the device on these cards, and then the QR code leads to our YouTube playlist. So if you see any devices here that you have more questions about and you don't get a chance to ask me or one of our coworkers that are there in person, then you can definitely search up OK Able Tech on YouTube and find our playlist. Okay, next we'll move on to the bed. So this bed is a MedMiser Active Care bed. It's very similar to a hospital bed, but it's not. Let me go ahead and set up this angle here so that you guys can see. So right now it is in the seated position, but this seated position can lift up further to help with standing, or it can be returned back to the reclined position. You can raise or lower the height. You can incline the feet or the head, like either or. There are a lot of different things you can do with this bed. It is very helpful. There are multiple different guardrail options. So this is really designed to help caretakers and relieve them of the need of transferring. It can be really hard to do on your own. So this is to help out with that. There's a remote control here, designed for the individual to have some control over. And then there's another remote control at the end of the bed down here for the caretaker to use. Also on this bed, we've got a weighted comforter. We've got an adjustable bedside table that rolls around. There's also a Zen garden for a little bit of just relief. This over here is a rear view mirror, and the mirror is designed to give the individual like an idea of who may be coming up behind them. Okay, now to the end of the bed. So down here, we'll start at the bottom. This is our Body Plus Smart Scale. So this Smart Scale can store up to 5 different family members' weights, information, and it will also do a full body scan. So not only will it tell you your general weight, it can also say BMI, water weight, the bone weight. There are a lot of different details that this scale can get into, and it's helpful that it saves them all individually. Next over here, we've got the we have walkers at our reuse site, and this is a walker squawker. So it's an animatronic pet companion that does not have batteries in it right now because I didn't want it to interrupt. It's an animatronic pet companion that the more it moves, the more it will sing to you. So that's to encourage individuals to move on their own or to use their walker and not forget to go to physical therapy, just to provide some companionship. It is motion censored, light activated, as it is an animatronic pet. Over here, we've got the American Lifetime Day Clock. So what I like about this clock is that it has bold fonts in large print, and you can change the color contrast. So you could do yellow on black if that's easier for an individual to read. But it also tells you what time of day it is. So it does say the date, November 2nd, the day of the week, Thursday. It says the time, 1:21 p.m. But it also says afternoon, just to help with orienting yourself. Now, this is one half of our Hubble baby camera. So this is the camera part. The camera lens can be covered up. You can squeeze the sides and cover the lens up, but that connects to a monitor, which has a live feed on an app and also has a live feed on the parent unit, which you'll see in just a minute. We'll go ahead and do a spin really quick and I'll show you the living room. All right. Got to walk backwards with the stand here. Okay. Here in the living room is a commercial, obviously. Okay. In the living room, we have quite a few different devices here. What you just saw me pick up is a universal remote control. So we have two different kinds of universal remote controls, and they both work, which just shows you that they are universal. So the point of these is to simplify the buttons that are available. So if you look closely, all you'll see is channel selection, volume selection, on, off, or mute. So that can be helpful to prevent someone from being overwhelmed. These bright colors, this one lights up. This one lights up. That can help with vision. If it is hard to see really small buttons on a remote control, sometimes that's an alternative. Speaking of controlling alternatives, this is an Xbox One S gaming system, and this is a standard Xbox One S controller. Now, this is the Xbox Adaptive Controller. So Able Gamers and Microsoft partnered to create an adaptive controller. That way any individual can game. So what I love about this is how play and recreation are so important for health and healing and also quality of life. This is something to make gaming more inclusive for everybody. So it does have all the same buttons as a standard controller would have, but it also has like 30 different ports, all of which correspond to a specific button. So if maybe you prefer, maybe you can't hit the buttons on here, but you can activate a micro light switch, then that's what you would plug in and use to activate. There are a lot of different possibilities out there, so I just think the Xbox Adaptive Controller is really cool. Down here to the side, let me move this a little bit. Here to the side is our caption call telephone. Sorensen.com hands them out. So what happens is it is a home phone with two speakers here. So an extra speaker for those that are hard of hearing. And then as the phone call comes in, it will transcribe live transcription on this page here. Really handy for those who are hard of hearing. Definitely an awesome piece of technology to have. Now over here to the side, we'll look at some other AT. So this is the Be Here neck proxy. We love the Be Here neck proxy. I'll show you how it goes on. So this is a neckband speaker. It goes around the neck under the ears, and there goes the headphone. The speakers are right here. They sit directly underneath the ears. They can be paired with hearing aids, or while I have this out, if you want to listen to something privately, there are two little earbuds right here, and you can pull it out and plug that into your ear. This connects via Bluetooth, so it does need to be charged every once in a while. To retract the earbuds, you just press these buttons on the side. But it's really handy and really clear sound. So that's one device that we really love around here. Next is the Hugo AI Smart Table Lamp. So this table lamp, the color can change by adjusting the top of it, or you can change it via the app, or if you connect it to Alexa or Google Home or Siri, you can adjust it that way too. So just another way to be able to activate and control something, especially for those individuals who often aren't able to have control over their lives or feel like they have control. It's nice to have that kind of lamp. Now, down here, we'll see another animatronic pet companion. This one is really popular. This is our beloved cat. She's a gray cat, and she's got a personality. So with these animatronic pets, the animals will move, they'll talk to you, they'll purr. Some of them have their favorite spots to be scratched at. So this is just an option of if maybe your family member used to have a pet of their own that looked like this. This could bring back some good memories, or even provide a sense of friendship whenever they're living in community living. Let me go ahead and turn her back off. Because they do like to talk, but we love our cats here. They do also make a dog version. The product is made by Enabling Devices. Um, Now we'll go over here to the other side of the living room. Okay, so over here in this living room, we've got a smart couch. It's a futon. So it's adjustable. You can lift up the headpiece or you can lift up it into a couch, as you see here. And then we've got two different kinds of pillows. This pillow is designed for individuals with dementia. It is decorative, obviously, with the beautiful little flowers here, but there are also other elements on here that are helpful for someone to fidget with. You'll see here that there are a variety of different textures. And then we've also got this fidget pillow, which is less decorative and more like a fidget pillow, but still gets the job done. One thing that I really like about this is that the elements are removable. So you just pull it off or button it back on whenever you like. So there's a lot of adjustments that can be made. And then putting both hands in here can be cozy and comforting for some individuals. Now, earlier I did mention that we had a weighted comforter. Now, here we have a weighted lap pad. It's about 5 pounds and it's not as large. So this can be a little bit less intimidating, or for some, the weighted comforter may be found suffocating. This is just a lap pad and it's a lot lighter, so that can be helpful. Now we'll go over to the shelves, and on the way, I wanted to show you we've got this Daylight 24 floor lamp magnifier. So you'll see that the hose is adjustable. You can change it whichever direction you want, bend it, and then there's also a light on the bottom. It's a full page magnifier, so you have plenty of room for reading. Yeah, let's go ahead and go on to the shelves. Now, under this futon, we do have underbed lighting that is motion censored. So at night, if somebody gets up frequently in the middle of the night, we can reduce fall risk by adding some extra lighting. Okay, so we'll start on these shelves here. These are our main living room shelves. Well, at the top, we've got a Magno 2-in-1 travel lamp, and there goes one of my QR code cards. This travel lamp is 2-in-1. It can be used as a desk lamp. It has multiple different color settings, white light, natural light, and then a mixture of both. And then if you didn't want to use it as a travel lamp, it can also be used as a torch flashlight. So definitely nice to have options there. Over here, we've got the simple big button photo phone. So the big button photo phone has different pictures that you can add in. So for numbers that are on speed dial, maybe if your loved one at home doesn't remember someone's name or their phone number, but they do remember faces, so no, this is who I want to call. You'll also see that the buttons are larger. They have a larger, more bold font. This phone, just like the other phone, has two separate speakers that are a little bit more high powered to provide some extra audio. There's a flash receiver on here. That way, if somebody is hard of hearing, they might see the flash when the phone rings, so they'll know that the phone is ringing. And then the dial button is bright red to help with that. So we really like the big button photo phone here. Here is a digital magnifier. It's made by Eschenbach, but it's got multiple different contrast settings, different zoom settings. You can take pictures on the device and you can save them, store them, or upload them. You can save up to 20 images at a time, and it does have really high contrast as well as high quality. Okay. So let's bring you a little bit closer here. Next, we've got the Angel Sense Guardian. The Guardian is a GPS tracker, and it is really small. Easy to easy to take around with you. You'll see here it does have an SOS button on the front. It's got two other buttons on the side, but really what this SOS button does is contacts your the caretaker, the guardian, or emergency services, depending on what you need and depending on what you set it up for. This SOS button will do all of that in just one touch. The SOS button can be worn in many different ways. It does come as a watch version. You can put it on a belt clip. You can put it in this pouch and then attach this pouch to the individual. The pouch has a special kind of lock on it that can only be unlocked with this key. And if you don't have the key, then this is impossible to take apart. So you don't have to worry about someone taking it off and leaving it behind. Now, what I really like about the Angel Sense is that as well as wearing it as a watch or a belt or belt clip or in the pouch, you can wear it in your undershirt. So this is a small t-shirt that has an opening at the small of the back between the shoulder blades. And this SOS help button will go inside of that shirt. That way you can have precise tracking at all times, and it's not something that will accidentally fall off or come out. So very handy. Next, similarly, we have the Safe Wander. So this is a bed exit sensor. The Safe Wander goes plugged into the wall outlet, and then the bed exit sensor will either be clipped onto the clothing or placed inside of a pocket. Once the bed wander sensor goes from a 90-degree angle, it will activate and notify the caregiver via iPhone app or a Samsung app, and it'll let you know that this individual has gotten up. So maybe if they've recently had hip surgery and we want to keep them in a chair for safety, that's a good reason to know that someone's gotten up. Or if it's in the middle of the night and you have a sleepwalker, that is also something helpful. Next down here, we have a smart air purifier. So same thing, this air purifier can be activated by touching the device itself or through the app or using voice control. Okay, so let's move on to the next shelf here. Over here, we have 5 different kinds of smartwatches. So a lot of these smartwatches have similar functions, but are slightly different. This is the Sky Angel 911 watch. Now, the Sky Angel 911 is very similar to the Angel Sense GPS tracker, whereas its main function is for pinpointing location tracking. Next is the Google Tick Watch. What I like about the Google Tick Watch is that it can be used whether you have an iPhone or an Android. This is the Fitbit Lux. The Fitbit Lux does not need a smartphone at all, so that's one of our favorites as well. It is something that's usable for individuals who don't have smartphones, but want to keep track of their health. So this is going to keep track of your steps using a pedometer. It'll let you know about the daily weather using barometer. There are a few different options here that it will track heart rate, oxygen, and a lot of these watches will track all of those things except for the Sky Angel. Next, we have the Apple Watch, which goes with iPhones, and then the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, which goes with Android phones. So, like I said, we just like to have a lot of different options here and let everyone know that there's not just one solution. You can try multiple different things and see what works the best for you. Every situation is different. This here is the other part of the Hubble baby monitor that I was telling you all about. So this is the parent unit. So right now what we're looking at is where the camera is facing. So that camera that we were watching earlier is now touring around the room just by me swiping across the screen. You can also use it as two-way talk to speak back and forth through the monitor, or you can use the phone application to be able to control the camera, to talk through it, to play music, and all kinds of different things. Over here is the Sleep Sense. It is a sleep tracker. This monitor goes underneath the foot of the bed on one corner of the bed, and it will track through vibrations the individual's heart rate, breathing rate, sleep activity, and sleep quality. So it can just notify caregivers about risks during the middle of the night, like safety risks. Now down here we have a automatic vacuum cleaner. So this specific vacuum cleaner is the Roomba made by iRobot. Pretty popular device. So this automatic vacuum cleaner navigates itself around furniture around the house. You can set it to a schedule. For example, here in the office, we have the Roomba turn on every day at 5:30 p.m. after we've all left the office. It will automatically do its vacuum cleaning route that it taught itself. So the Roomba will drive around furniture. It won't bump into things. It will go underneath things. Or you can set it to clean as needed. Okay, next shelf. Okay, the next shelf, we have a cyber power block. So I get questions a lot with the smart home. What happens if the power goes out? Well, this surge protector um, will try to help prevent the power going out. And then also, it holds a charge from anywhere to 24 to 48 hours. So if power does go out and maybe you don't have access to a generator immediately, this is going to hold on to some charge for you. Next, we have the ring security system. So these are the main elements of that security system, which was the very first piece of AT that I showed you. This is an indoor camera. It can be mounted or set on a shelf. This base rotates 360 degrees, so you can sit on the ceiling, on the wall, wherever is needed in your home. With the rings, they also have a phone application that you can use to check them. The kit comes with motion sensors, range extenders, indoor camera, and a doorbell camera. And you can use two-way talk through them depending on which kit you're purchasing. This is an emergency kit, so any one of these buttons, we can set it for armed, away from home, at home, or we can call emergency services with the push of any of these buttons. Let's get a little bit closer now. And we will see a Alexa, oh, there she goes. This is an Echo Dot with clock made by Amazon. So what the Echo Dot is a speaker with a smart AI inside of it. So this smart assistant can answer questions for you. Hey Alexa, what's the weather?
Currently, in Oklahoma City, it's 61 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. You can expect more of the same today, with a high of 64 degrees and a low of 43 degrees.
Thank you. So if you don't want it to listen to you, you can press this button at the top. If it's red, the microphone will be turned off. But you see that the LED screen changes its display according to whatever you're asking it for. But you can ask this AI for anything. You could also remind it to have you take your meds, for example, if an individual was forgetting that, or to remind them to do their morning routine. This is a smart speaker, very similarly, but made by Apple. And then this is the Hatch Egg Sleep Lamp. So it has an LED screen down here too, which is very faint. It's designed to be a nightlight. So the nightlight, we don't want that to be too bright, lest it keeps somebody awake. But this sleep egg will play music, change color, like nighttime noises and things of that nature. There we go. Speaking of nature, I don't know if you guys can hear that. It sounds like crickets. And then there's the ocean. So next up is one thing that we purchased specifically for caregivers and to aid them. This is the the Grand Care Health System. So this is the large monitor, but it comes with multiple different devices, a pulse oximeter here. We've got an SOS button that can be placed anywhere around the house, and that way they're available as needed. Motion sensors. What's special about the Gray Matters Grand Care Health Alliance device is that it is designed for remote supports. So there's a main menu here. You can save, we've got our website saved to the top. You can save multiple different things. You can check vitals, keep track of different readings, medication. It'll send you reminders to keep track of all the different medications that need to be had throughout the day, daily schedules, caregiving. Caregiving, you do have to have their caregiver's pen. That way, not anybody can get in and adjust those different types of information. Okay. Now we've also got videos, photos, news, brain exercises, messages, and so much more. Up here it says the time, says the weather, lets you video call, and then also you can set a slideshow of different images that may be comic that the individual might love. Now up at the top is another magnifier. This one is similar to that floor lamp that we saw earlier. It's a desktop magnifier though. So a little bit shorter. It can be adjusted and it has, let's see if I can reach it. It has some really bright lights on that. Okay, so these are our main shelves. Now we do have a lot of different devices here, lots of information going on, but during tours, we typically will go over things in depth according to what the person is looking for. So definitely reach out to us if there's something specific. I know that for our conference today, we're thinking about lifespan and family caregivers. When I think of family caregivers, I also think of how hard it can be to do nails. So My father was homebound for a little bit. My mother was his family caregiver, and she's also a caregiver by trade. But it just makes me think of the times that she's told me how hard it is to keep fingernails tidy and short so that nobody's getting scratched. Well, this clip different is a fingernail cutter with a metal guard right here to prevent skin from getting cut. Now, that blade is very, very thin but very sharp, and it's hard to get around the barrier. So there, you are going to lessen the risk of maybe accidentally nipping somebody with the clippers. All of it goes back into here, this discard tray, very easy to clean. It's got a non-slip bottom, which I find very handy. So you can use it hands-free, but it's also lightweight, so you can easily pick it up. It's battery operated and is, or it can be plugged in, so it's up to you. Another thing I really think is useful in the home for family caregivers, this is a smart thermometer. It's called the Kinsa Quick Scan. It'll give you like little smiley faces and stuff like that whenever you use it. But what I find interesting about the smart thermometer is the app that it connects to. So the majority of the devices that you see here are smart because they connect to an app and can be controlled remotely. With this app, it will keep track of all of your readings. It will also let you know about rates of COVID cases and other sicknesses in the area. And it can download the information and send it directly to your doctor if needed. There's a lot of different things that can be used that you can be, a lot of things that can be done with this app. Now, over here, we've got a non-slip placemat, and then we've got some bright red cookware. What we like about the dinnerware is so lightweight. It's very bright, easy to see, provides a very high contrast, and it has this lip on the side, which makes it easier to hold or manipulate the dishes. You'll see that the cup also has a little outcropping. It's a little bit adjusted. That makes this adds for better grip, which can be really helpful. Speaking of kitchenware, let's go ahead and move on to the kitchen. We've got to get over the barrier here. Okay. Overcoming barriers. That's what we're doing. Okay. Here in the kitchen, we have a variety of different devices. One device I really like is the time timer. It provides individuals a visual representation of how much time they have left in their task. So just the same as a typical kitchen timer, just a little bit larger. They do sell different sizes. This one's a 60-minute. They also have a 5-minute timer. There is a watch design as well for those who are still learning to tell the time. So lots of options there with the time timer. And it doesn't make the ticking that can bother some individuals. So it's quiet until the timer goes off, and then it's not so quiet. Next over here, we've got an automatic soap dispenser so that you can use it hands-free. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'll show you again. I don't want to get soap on my hands, so I'm being kind of quick about it. But just a way to dispense soap without having to worry about a bar or squeezing the handle. So this here is an adjustable sink, pulls down. That way that's easier to access, maybe for an individual who's wheelchair bound or maybe has use of one side of the body, needs the sink to face a certain way. That's an option there. Now over here, we've got a one-handed cutting board. These elements are adjustable and removable, which is really handy. You'll see that they can come out, and you can also tighten or loosen depending on what you need at the time. It's got 4 little silicone suction cups at the bottom to keep the cutting board in place to achieve maximum safety. Over here, we've got a touchless trash can. So it's a hands-free trash can, which can be helpful for individuals who are using their hands whenever their caregivers are busy, or maybe if somebody doesn't have, depending on the abilities that they have, they need to adjust the way that they interact with their environment. That's an option. Here we've got cabinets that have been lowered. They used to be up pretty high on that wall, but we have lowered them about midway to make it easier to access. Now down here, we've cut out the front of the sink to make it easier for wheelchair users to roll into. Now up there in the kitchen is a fire alarm. It's a 2-in-1 smart fire alarm. It does fire and then also checks for carbon monoxide. So if you do have either of those things detected in your home, it'll send notifications to your phone immediately and will assist the individual in alerting the authorities. Okay, over here, for more parts of the kitchen, we've got a talking microwave. Let me turn that up. So this talking microwave is really handy for individuals who maybe have low vision or no vision, and you can adjust the volume. It can also be helpful if you maybe like added some tactile stickers or something, or you could hear exactly what somebody's doing at the microwave. So that's an option. We also have the Echo Show 10 here, which is very similar to the Echo Dot with LED lights that we looked at earlier. It's all Amazon Alexa. It just are different sizes. So with this one, it actually has a video camera at the top so that you can drop in, and it is on a 360-degree base, so it will follow you. Now over here, this is my absolute favorite thing in the kitchen. This is our heat induction stovetop. So the heat induction stovetop is a lightweight portable stove. I had an individual tell me that she took hers camping once, but it's a portable stovetop. What makes this special is it prevents burns because this stovetop will only uses heat induction to only heat a certain type of metal. So this strawberry is actually a magnet. If the magnet sticks, that means this type of metal is compatible with the stovetop and it will heat up. And now if the strawberry fell off and this was not the right kind of metal, that pot would not get warm. And this is to prevent burns. So we actually tried this ourselves before. We turned it on. I boiled a pot of water here, waited until it got to a rolling boil, and then I asked my sweet coworker Austin to put his hand on the stove because I was a little bit nervous. But Austin did. He put his hand right on the burner, and he said it was slightly warm, but not hot at all, and it definitely should have burnt him. Another handy thing about this heat induction stove is that you can lock the screen. That way somebody can't bump into it and turn it on and off accidentally. You can adjust the heat, the timers. It really works just like a traditional stove. It's really handy, really helpful whenever you're at home. Now this is a one-handed pot stirrer. So these are little cups that will suction cup to the flat countertop or to the flat stove top, and it will hold this pot handle in place. That way somebody maybe one-handed could stir the pot on their own. Now down here, we've got a mobile kitchen island, some non-slip grip pads, and I believe a can opener. Now we're going to move on to the hallway, and then our last segment will be the bathroom, and then we'll go ahead and do some questions. I hear the timer going off that we just set. All right, here in the hallway, you'll see some pictures from Kendra Orca, and then you'll see our Ecobee smart thermostat. So the smart thermostat, just like all of our other devices, can be controlled via an phone application. You can touch it by manipulating the thermostat on the wall, or you can use your voice to say, Alexa, turn on the heater or something like that. Right now, we've got the thermostat on a schedule to save energy that way. So whenever we leave at 5, it's one temperature, and then whenever we come in the morning at 7, it's a warmer temperature because we all know how Oklahoma's weather is. Okay, so here in the bathroom, we have the T-pull door closer. Whoops. Okay, this is the T-pull door closer. It's shaped like the letter T, so that's why we call it that. It's called the pull because you pull on it to activate it. But what I like about this is that it can be folded up out of the way, and now it is flush with the door. You're not gonna get your belt buckles caught on it or anything like that. But this device can make it really helpful for wheelchair users or somebody with like limited mobility or limited strength to be able to operate the door. It distributes the weight of the door really well. Super easy to install. You can screw it in, but this it comes with a natural adhesive on the back of the T-pull door closer. That's what I used to attach to the wall months ago, and it still is on there, and it's really sturdy. Next, we'll move on to the lowered mobile wardrobe. So this mobile wardrobe is just shorter to make it easier accessible, and it is on wheels. It's got 4 different shelves here and then hangers as well. So you can, and a curtain so that you can have privacy with your clothing. Over here, near the bathroom, well, I guess this whole thing is the bathroom. But this is the bathroom. We got that SOS button that came with the Grand Care monitoring system that I told you guys about before, if maybe somebody has an accident or can't get up. Now, these railings are ADA railings that were built in to the office whenever we came here, but we do have our own railing that we installed. So with this railing, this foam makes it a little bit easier to hold on to, but our main thing is that it folds up onto the wall out of the way, just like the T-pull door closer does. But you can pull it down, use it as needed, and then lift it right back up. Now down here, we've got a bidet. This bidet we purchased off of Amazon and very inexpensive. Now this bidet just connects across the wall to the sink over there. So very easy to install. It can be used for men or women, but that will just help with hygiene and taking some of the duty off of the caregiver. There is the iPad that I'm using to record. Okay, over here, in this part of the kitchen area, we've got a toothbrush pillow. This pillow stabilizes the toothbrush. You can either put the head of it in here or the base of it into here, but it's designed for typical toothbrushes, not this. This is an atypical toothbrush. It's something I find really interesting. It's called the Hum Electric Toothbrush by Colgate. It has 3 different settings. It's got deep clean, traditional, like standard, and then it's got the sensitive setting. So used for multiple different kinds of ways, but it maps out your mouth using the smartphone application and will let you know if there are certain areas that need to be brushed a little bit more vigorously, or if maybe there's some areas of the mouth that are being overbrushed, just to let you know where you're at. It'll let you know if you are or are not brushing for the whole 2 minutes. So if somebody that you're trying to look after, if you have their concerns about their hygiene or oral hygiene, this is a really helpful device to have. Another helpful device to have would be this toothpaste dispenser. Toothpaste goes into the top, and then you press your toothbrush right into here. It takes a light pressure for a little bit of toothpaste, a little bit extra pressure to have more, and that will dispense it for you. And depending on the size of your toothbrush head, you can also hang it right here. Next, we'll move over to the sink area. So this sink has an LED faucet. Let me get my adjustments right here. Has an LED faucet. So with the blue lighting, that means that the water is cold. When it's green, the water is lukewarm or about room temperature. And when it gets hot, the water will turn red. Personally, we have one in our kitchen in the Stillwater office, and that one blinks red because it's on our kitchen sink and the water gets really hot. But it turns red whenever the water is warm. That way, it's anti-scalding, less likely for somebody to burn themselves. This is another automatic soap dispenser. And then here we have a adjustable tilting mirror, which is also designed with wheelchair users in mind. That way they can see themselves and adjust it as needed. That is pretty much what we've got in here in the bathroom. Let me pull this stand out of the barrier here. Okay, that's what I've got today for the smart home tour. But like I said, Austin Brickers in Oklahoma City, he can answer some questions. You guys can always email or call us if you have more questions. Or we have virtual tours. We have pictures of our devices online, YouTube videos, really everything you can think of, whatever you need help with or want to ask questions about, we're here for you. And so if anybody does have questions in the chat or in the Q&A box, I'm more than willing to answer those.
Hi, Louise. Thank you so much for that fabulous tour. I really appreciate you sharing all those things with us. There was one question about the shower chair again and asked where we could get one, but someone from Senior Success did share your website, and the website is okabletech.org. And you mentioned that there are some online tours and other resources there too.
Yes, there are. So yeah, there are online tours. There's a 3D tour that you can kind of click through as if you're walking through the building. There are accessible pictures. If anybody's using like a screen reader or something like that, we've adjusted them to be able to work in conjunction, or you can give us a call. But yeah, thank you for sharing our website. I'm glad that I've seen that we have a lot of partners here today. So this is pretty cool.
Well, thank you so much, Louise. That was so helpful, so informative, so innovative. And we really appreciate OK Able Tech for all the support that you guys give family caregivers. Thank you so much for being here. We give you an
Thank
applause from
you.
around the
And thank
state.
you, Ashley.
All right. I think we all know what time it is again. It's time for DJ Lex to turn the tracks and pull another gift card winner, or winners, I guess I should say. So why don't we get DJ Lex out here, turning the tunes, getting our music going, getting a new winner. Good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the program again to give away more gift cards. We're staying alive today. It's okay to dance. Dancing is highly encouraged. All right, I've dug way down into the hopper and I have pulled out 3 lucky names. The first name is Amanda Tully. Congratulations. The second name is going to be Ruth Spiders. Congratulations. And last but surely not least, it's going to be Kelly Connery. Congratulations to our winners.
Awesome. Thank you so much, DJ Lex, for that dance break. We are staying alive, staying alive. And congratulations to our gift card winners. How exciting that you all are getting some gift cards just for being here, for taking care of yourselves. You're getting to win some gift cards. I think that's so great. Moving forward in our program today, it is now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Kaylee Johnson is a certified health and life coach specializing in supporting family caregivers. Kaylee has over 25 years of experience as a caregiver, both professionally and personally, as she has been a foster parent, most recently a caregiver for her 92-year-old grandmother. Through her caregiving experience, Kaylee experienced firsthand the struggles that caregivers face every day. She understands caregiver exhaustion and burnout, but she also knows how important it is for caregivers to take care of themselves. To learn more about Kaylee and how she supports family caregivers, visit her website at www.sparkyourjourney.net. Today, Kaylee will encourage us to be our own biggest fan. Thank you so much for being here, Kaylee. We are so excited to hear from you. I'll hand it over to you, Kaylee.
And thank you so much for that warm welcome. I'm so happy and honored to be sharing my story with all of the Oklahoma family caregiver community today. So thank you so much for this opportunity. So I just want to make sure my screen is being shared. Looks like it is. So my intention is to share energy of hope with all of you and to share support and inspiration to move forward in our caregiving journey. So I just want to thank everyone that's here in this caregiver convention. And I really want to acknowledge all of the caregivers here who are attending this caregiver conference and really congratulate you on taking on a role that is so courageous and so generous. It really is something remarkable to give a level of care to someone that you do each and every day. So I just want to take this time to really feel what it feels like to be acknowledged. Just take a deep breath in, out slowly, and feel what that feels like to be acknowledged. Because oftentimes caregivers are not acknowledged. everyone's laser focused on the patient or the loved one. And I want to also thank you for making this world a better place by being a caregiver to someone who truly needs you. The bravest souls are called for this role, so thank you for all that you do. And like I said, I really want to acknowledge and appreciate all of the amazing caregivers that are here today. So I'm just going to share a little about myself so you know who is guiding you here today. So my name is Kaylee Johnson. I'm from Northern Minnesota. I'm sure you can tell by my accent. And I'm a health and a life coach that specializes in supporting caregivers. I support caregivers in taking back their own lives while caregiving. I guide them on how to be a caregiver for themselves too, and to find their own identity again. Oftentimes, caregivers lose sight of their own life and identity in this role. So like she has mentioned, I've been a professional caregiver for over 25 years, and I still caregive part-time. I still like to keep my foot in that part of the world. And I also have been a caregiver most of my personal life. So caregiving is very near and dear to my heart. Most recently, like she mentioned, I was on a team with my family caring for my 92-year-old grandmother, who has sadly passed away about 1.5 years ago. But through that process, I can understand some of the unique challenges that caregivers face. And I realize all of our circumstances are so different, whether you're caring for a special needs child or an elderly parent or a sibling. They're also different, but they become way less important when we start to focus on ourselves and how we are going to take care of ourselves and begin to thrive in this role instead of just survive. That is why I started my coaching practice. I really saw the gap in services there and how many caregivers were just barely surviving. And coaching has transformed my life. And because of that, I wanted to learn how to help others in the same way that I was helped. I knew it wasn't anything unique to me, but when I experienced it for myself, I went through the transformation. It was literally mind-blowing. And I just want to share my experience with you so you can understand where I was before I started getting support and allowing myself to get some help in that sort of a way. So when I was in the throes of caregiving, my life was miserable at times. My mind would race. I had no time for myself. And I had to do all the things. My anxiety was overwhelming. And I finally said, enough was enough. I knew something had to give. I knew I could not maintain at the rate or the pace I was going, which was really hard for me to admit. So I get here if anyone has any resistance to being supported, but things were so far out of my control that I didn't know how I was going to make it through. I would wake up sick to my stomach every day, worrying about things I had absolutely no control over. I had absolutely no boundaries. So I was feeling taken advantage of, and resentment, which we all know then just leads to guilt. And I felt that my life was so far out of balance and I didn't know how to reel it in. And then the feelings of overwhelm would set in. And I just wanted some peace back in my life. And I felt so stuck because I didn't have any time to change anything because I was trying to do all the things. I was running on the hamster wheel of life. But I realized I couldn't keep spinning all the plates. And one day they all came crashing down. And I had no choice but to start to do things differently. So sometimes some of the hardest times in our lives turn out to be our biggest blessings. And I know it was true for me. And I can't even believe I'm saying this because it was definitely one of the worst times in my life. But I'm actually grateful now for that struggle because it pushed me out of my comfort zone and pushed me to get the help and support that I knew I needed. And then it was totally a life-changing to have support, to have a cheerleader, to have a system with the right steps, and the accountability was then the game changer. I followed through on my life and the things I wanted in a way I had never done before. And I really couldn't believe how my life had changed now into something I was proud to share. So I just like to share why I'm so passionate about supporting caregivers and helping them see there is another way. Caregiving doesn't have to mean that we have to give up our entire life or our happiness. You can be a caregiver and have your own life too. We can have both. It will not be our old life, but we get to create a new life. We need to stay open-minded to support, because we are not meant to do this job alone. I think that through all of the different speakers in here today, we've all had that same message. We need to have the support. We need to have our tribe. And I'm just going to show you the beginning steps of how to do that today. So today, I really want to share with you how to become a priority in your own life so you can be the best version of yourself. I hear from caregivers all the time that they're just so desperate for time for themselves, but putting themselves first is what? It's selfish. And that's just not true. I am here to just blow that open. And that's just an old story. That's an old story we've been telling ourselves, or someone else has been telling us, and it's just not true at all. As caregivers, we have to let go of that old thinking and write a new caregiver story. So I invite you to grab a pen and something to take notes on, or you can use the part of your program. I know if you're there live, the program has a place to take notes for today's event. So later you can go back and refer to what you've learned here today and implement the easy steps that I'm going to share with you here today. So the tech part is going to be my hardest part too, but I'm working on it. So for the first part, I just want to spend some time understanding how you feel about being a priority in your own life. Does that sound good, or does that sound selfish? Like, how does that feel? No judgment here. We are just building awareness. Just think about what comes up for you when I say that. So we're going to do a little exercise here together. We're gonna use our imagination. We're gonna give ourselves permission to go there, and we're gonna be doing a group visualization for just a few minutes. It may even feel uncomfortable, but it is critical because it taps into our intuition and our deeper knowing. As caregivers, we are constantly triaging emergencies or our future to-do lists, spending very little time in the present moment. So in order to access our own personal wisdom, I invite you to engage in this visualization exercise with me. I will guide you through. You will use your imagination, and this is where you will be reconnecting with your body and your breath. We will also be doing some intentional breathing as well. But what this will do is it'll uncover some unique personal information it's very personal to you. So I invite you to do this visualization with me, if that sounds okay. So I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Just for a few minutes, just play with me here. How about for a moment, we close our eyes and have our feet flat on the floor and take a deep breath in. Hold it at the top and then exhale slowly. Take another deep breath in. Hold at the top and exhale slowly. Now, for just a moment, imagine what it would look like and feel like if you made yourself a priority in your life. Really imagine what you would be doing and how it would feel. Take another deep breath in. Hold at the top. And exhale slowly. How would you feel if you showed up for yourself each and every day for just a small amount of time? What do you see yourself doing? And how does it feel? Take another deep breath in. Hold at the top. And exhale slowly. Now let that feeling sink into your body. And just imagine a future you, one who is already making yourself a priority in your life. Take another deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And exhale slowly. And it's a few months into the future. And you've really gotten good at taking care of yourself. And you're noticing such a big difference. Really tune into what that feels like to take care of you each and every day. Maybe for some, it's through self-care. Maybe others, it's having fun or taking breaks. Or it can look like eating healthy, exercising, maybe jumping back into some old hobbies or finding new ones. Whatever taking care of you means to you. Just imagine what it would look like if you made yourself a priority in your life for just a small amount of time. Really imagine what you would be doing when you made yourself a priority and how you would feel when you are taking such good care of yourself. What does it feel like when you imagine showing up for yourself each and every day for that small amount of time? Now, with your eyes still closed, imagine turning up the dial on your senses so you can really feel what it feels like, even more strongly running throughout your body. Just imagine, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you smell or even taste? Now just take one last deep breath in. Hold it at the top. And then exhale slowly, digesting the good feeling of taking care of you into your body and really feeling what that feels like. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I invite you to write down what you were doing when you were making yourself a priority and how did it feel. I really encourage you to write that down. How was that for everyone? I really appreciate you doing this with me. If you're not used to doing visualizations, like I said, it could feel a little uncomfortable to close our eyes, to use our imagination. But really going there, like I said, taps into that personal wisdom, that intuition. And as caregivers, we are always laser focused on the next thing or a loved one. So I really appreciate you all for doing that. Like I said, I invite you to use the note part of your program or just a piece of paper or notebook, and write out what you were doing and how did it feel. It's going to do two things. For number one, it's going to help you remember what you were doing to make yourself a priority. And in the future, you will have that to reference back in your notes, but it will also remind you how good it felt, that it didn't feel selfish, how it filled you up, how being a priority in your life, how that felt. So that those are the big reasons for writing it down. So I know for myself, when I first did this visualization, I noticed that I was showing up in areas of my life feeling energized, well-rested, happy, instead of the rundown, exhausted person that I had become. And I just ask you to consider, what if being a priority in your life isn't a selfish idea? Because here's the deal, we're literally kidding ourselves if we think we can do everything for others and put ourselves at the bottom of the list every single day. And I'm speaking from experience, because most days we don't even make it to the end of our list, right? So it's not very useful to be at the bottom of our list. But when you start to change the perspective or look at it through a different lens, it's literally like swinging by the gas station before a long road trip. It's just that small amount of time. So the only way that we can be mentally and physically healthy as a caregiver is to adopt this idea. The idea that we can be a priority in my life and be a caregiver too. Just like the airplane story, I'm sure you've all been on an airplane or you've seen a movie about an airplane where they refer to, okay, if we, if something happens, the oxygen masks are going to fall from the ceiling. Please put on yours first before you help anybody else. And why do they say that? Because how helpful am I going to be to help my loved one, my child, or even other people on the plane if I'm passed out? So take the 30 seconds to put mine on so that I am available to be doing those things. So it's the same here. It's the same with caregiving. But what happens when we don't believe this is important? When we don't believe it's important to be a priority in our own life is when we become exhausted. It's when we become run down. It's when we become overwhelmed and even sick ourselves because we're not nourishing ourselves in the way that we need to be. Caregivers get sick at a much higher rate than non-caregivers. So please consider making yourself a priority this week and see what happens. We can become a priority we can just start out by taking 5 or 10 minutes a day and dedicating that time consistently to ourselves, because a little bit does go a long way. The key is the consistency. And then when we start to see the results, we're like, oh yeah, I can definitely take 10 minutes twice a day. This really feels good. I can really see the difference here. We can be a priority and be a caregiver. It doesn't have to be the or, it can be the and. So the good news is we can just start small, and you will be surprised at how far a little can really go. I am only talking about small amounts of time, but like I said, the key is the consistency every day. 5 minutes to start with. The length of time does not matter in the beginning. We are just checking in with ourselves every day consistently. We're checking in with our mental health. We're checking in with our feelings. Maybe we have some really heavy emotions, because that happens sometimes with caregiving, that we need to process and digest. So I'm giving myself this 5 or 10 minutes to journal it out, or to vent, call my friend, whatever it is. We make an appointment with ourselves that we can't break. Here's the deal. It's a sacred appointment. So maybe for some people, it's reading a chapter in their book. Or somebody else, it's a hot cup of tea with a candle. Somebody else, it might be going for a walk, listening to a podcast. It could be journaling, but whatever feels nourishing to your body and your soul. And I understand this will take time to digest these new ideas and feelings. So I just invite you to keep imagining what it feels like when you see yourself taking time for yourself. And once again, we're not talking about a lot of time. I just start with my clients and have them commit to the 5 or 10 minutes at first. A little can go a long way, especially when we're used to ignoring our own self and our needs and our desires. So just think of it by swinging by the gas station so you can get filled up before you start your long day-long road trip. But like I said before, we're really kidding ourselves if we think we can continue to not care for ourselves and not have our own needs met on this caregiving journey. Statistics show that we get sick at a much higher rate than non-caregivers, and this is one of the biggest reasons, because we don't allow ourselves to take care of ourselves too, to be that priority just a little bit. Because caregivers are ignoring their own needs and desires, and that takes a toll after a while. And then your body will get your attention in a different way. It will, definitely. It'll start to affect your well-being, or you'll start to have your own medical issues because now we're not going to the doctor, or we're having a symptom that we're not getting checked out. And now it's been 6 months. How did that happen? It's just we're on that autopilot of that hamster wheel. So it would be the same to think our car would run without gas, or our phone would work without being charged. That sounds ridiculous, right? But when it comes to us, we have unrealistic expectations for ourselves. And that's what gets us into trouble. So we're just building awareness here. So can anybody relate with those unrealistic expectations as a caregiver? Yeah, that's when we get ourselves into trouble there. So I know we will never have our old life back, But what is one place where you can let harmony back into your life again, where you can feel nourished? And make sure you write that down. I really encourage you to write that down, what you were doing to make yourself that priority. Now we're going to dive into the second piece of what I want to share with you today, because this was a game changer, another game changer for me, and for many of my clients as well. And this is how we become our biggest fan. So it's all about our self-talk. So just to give a definition, our self-talk is just that internal dialogue that we all have. It's influenced by our subconscious mind, and it reveals our thoughts, beliefs, questions, and ideas. Self-talk can be both negative and positive. It can be encouraging and it can be demotivating. But it's all about building awareness of our self-talk. So negative self-talk is very common. And basically, it's that inner dialogue that you have with yourself that might be limiting your ability to believe in yourself or to reach your potential. It's any thought that diminishes your ability to make positive changes in your life or to have confidence in yourself. Negative self-talk can not only be stressful, but it can really prevent us from having the life that we want. So once again, I would just like to share a little personal story that explains how shifting my self-talk helped me shift my life. So I tried to be the perfect mom. I tried to be the perfect employee. I tried to be the perfect wife, the perfect daughter, the perfect caregiver, and on and on and on. And I thought if I could just do all the things for everyone else, I could really make a difference in the world. I didn't need to focus on myself because I was fine. But what I discovered, once again, I could only spin so many of those plates at one time. And guess what? That's when they came crashing down. And like I shared, it was absolutely devastating. It was sad. It was disappointing. And worst of all, it was very hard to accept. And it was really initiated by something super far out of my control. And yet I convinced myself I had control over that. Once again, recovering control freak. And so really building awareness there. And I went through all the thoughts. If you could have just tried harder, if you could have just controlled that situation better, if you could have just been in 10 places at once, you really could have made that difference, like unrealistic expectation on steroids, right? But what I learned was when I was knocked down, it was absolutely exhausting spinning all those plates all the time. And what if there was another way? What if there was a way that I hadn't considered before? A way that would be easier, and a way that didn't leave me feeling exhausted, impatient, run down, crabby, and downright judgmental. Definitely none of the ways I wanted to be feeling, and not the person that I wanted to be. And I started to pay attention to the way I was talking to myself. It definitely was not supportive. It really kind of, when I got really honest about it, it sounded really negative, almost like a bully or a critic. How I could have done better, how I should have done better. And I was listening to one of my mentors around this time, and she explained this negative self-talk in a way that really resonated with me. So I stole this title from her because it just makes it easy to be able to build awareness and call it out when we see it. So she calls this negative self-talk the itty bitty bully committee. So like I said, it's just kind of funny, but it rhymes, so it's easy to remember. So I really had to build awareness around this piece. I had to get control of the conversation taking place in my head. And I had to recognize and get honest about the quality of my thoughts and what they really sounded like. So when I checked in and got honest, it sounded something like, nothing I do is good enough. No matter how hard I try, I'm still wrong. I'm exhausted, but if I stop or slow down, I will let someone down. So just recognize if any of that sounds familiar. So I came to the realization that the most important relationship that I had in my life was with myself. Our mental health matters so much, and we don't really ever take time to acknowledge how much of our mental health has an impact on our physical health and how much caregiving can have effect on our health. So during this time, I knew that I had to change. I knew I couldn't keep doing all the things all the time and have the itty bitty bully committee in my head. And I was lucky enough to be guided by someone who's very involved in self-development at the time. And they suggested I write an apology letter to myself. And I thought, well, that sounds really strange. But at this point, once again, what did I have to lose? I was really just trying to be open-minded. Well, when I did this exercise, a ton of stuff came up. But the biggest piece was a lot of unworthiness started to come up that I was completely unaware of. If you would have asked me, do you feel worthy? I would have said absolutely. But this was under, this was layers under. And for the first time, I was able to start to build awareness around these unworthiness issues, and things started to make sense to me. So my letter sounded something like, I'm sorry for denying you happiness when that is what you truly wanted. I'm sorry for not giving you the appropriate time to heal. I'm sorry for not practicing self-care. I'm sorry for saying yes when I really wanted to say no. I'm sorry for not forgiving you when you made a mistake. I'm sorry for not listening to my body when I needed a break. And the letter went on and on. But here's the magic. It was the first step in me taking back my life and focusing on myself. And the amazing thing is, when I did this, of course, lots of other things, but when I did this, this was the beginning steps of me taking back my life. And all of a sudden, when I started to do these things and tune in and build awareness, I had time for me. I actually had some patience. I was able to show up in the way that I really wanted to in the world. And why? Partly because I wasn't beating myself up all the time, right? So I had to uncover this unworthiness issue because it helped explain why I was talking to myself the way I was. And then I started practicing my I am statements. And those were super powerful because our beliefs, because they become our beliefs over time. And our beliefs are where we take action from. So what we're saying to ourselves is very, very powerful because it really initiates what we believe and then what we take action on. But I had to make a change to start to commit to thinking differently. So I share this with you so you know what I experienced and why I am so passionate to share with all of you. And like I said before, I know all of our circumstances are different, but it becomes way less important when we start to work on our inner game and start to take back the conversation in our heads and really start to cultivate some self-compassion. So research suggests that people with positive self-talk have mental skills that allow them to solve problems better, think differently, and be more efficient at coping with hardships and challenges. Doesn't that sound like Caregiver 101? And the reason why is because they're connected to their possibilities. You're getting connected to possibilities, being connected to hopelessness or connected to lack. So when we are connected to our possibilities, this can reduce harmful effects of stress and anxiety. So this is where I want to help build awareness and raise awareness of how much our self-talk has to do with our mental and physical health. And when we start to engage in negative self-talk, that is when we begin to get in trouble. So as you notice your self-talk, just tune into it. Does it sound like a bully or a critic, or does it sound like a friend? And don't judge that part of you, just be curious and build awareness. Wow, I hadn't seen that before. So building awareness is powerful because we can walk around for years and years and not notice something and not pay attention to it. But once we build awareness of it, you can't unsee it. You can't unnotice it. So it's really interesting. So if I said, oh, do you ever see yellow cars? You'll say no. Now you'll be like, oh my gosh, there's yellow cars all over the place. It's just because you're filtering for that now. So before we can really learn to practice more positive self-talk, we just have to jump in here for just a minute. We must identify some negative thinking patterns that a lot of us fall into. So these types of thinking patterns and self-talk generally fall into just 4 categories. Once again, we are not here to judge ourselves. We want to stay in curiosity mode, but we want to build awareness here. So we're just noticing. So the first one is personalizing. This is when you blame yourself for everything. Back in my personal story where I should have, woulda, coulda, I should have been in 10 places. It's all my fault. All of this is the personalizing. That's going to bring me straight to negative self-talk. So I have to be aware when I'm doing that. I have to hear that. The second one is magnifying. So this is when you focus on all the negative aspects of a situation, ignoring any and all positive. So I'm just laser focused in on the problem, and I'm not seeing any other parts of the situation. And there oftentimes is positive parts of all situations. The next negative thinking category is catastrophizing. So you expect the worst. You rarely let logic or reason persuade you otherwise. This is really the worst case scenario thinking. So I oftentimes will challenge my clients. If you want to take part in worst case scenario thinking, I challenge you to also go to best case scenario thinking, because they're all made up. We're making it all up anyway. So why not spend time in best case scenario? So just throwing that out there. And then the last one is polarizing. You see the world in black or white. It's just good or bad. There's nothing in between, no middle ground for processing or categorizing any events. So just pay attention and see if you can see yourself in any of those categories with just awareness, and be like, oh, there it is. Okay, now I can start to see. That's going to lead me directly to beating myself up. So when we begin to recognize these types of negative thinking, we can now work to turn them into positive thinking, because we can see it now. So the task requires practice and time. It does not develop overnight, but the good news is it can be done. And neuroscience right now is showing us that we have the ability to rewire our brains. So I am going to share just some common examples of this. And these scenarios are just examples of when and how we can turn the negative self-talk into more encouraging, into more empowering, or even positive self-talk. So I refer to this as reframing our thoughts or our self-talk. Again, this takes practice, but recognizing some of our own negative self-talk in these scenarios might help you start to develop the skills to reframe the thought when it occurs. So here's some examples. The first one is, here's the negative example. I'll disappoint everyone if I change my mind. Who said that before or thought that before? So here's how we reframe that. I have the power to change my mind. Others will understand. So it's still true, because it has to be true for our brain to accept it. But just think, if somebody in your life, if you had a lunch date with a friend and she canceled or he canceled, you may be a little bit disappointed, but you'd understand. You'd say, well, they must have had something come up, or they didn't feel good, or their kid needed them, whatever it is. But we don't give ourselves that same grace. So just building awareness here. The next example is, I failed and I've embarrassed myself. This is a big one, right? So how can we reframe that? This is the more empowering version, is, I'm proud of myself for even trying. That took courage. So just think, if your friend called you and said, oh my goodness, I just failed at this thing, what would you tell them? Well, it sounds like you totally messed up and failed. I would go lock myself in my room for the next week and not talk to anybody. Or would you say, that really took courage for even trying. I'm really proud of you. And so really developing that friendship conversation with ourselves versus that real critic. The next one, the negative example, and I hear this from caregivers a lot, because oftentimes, once again, we're not focusing on ourselves. I'm overweight and out of shape. Why would I even bother? So how do we reframe that? I'm capable and strong, and I want to get healthier for me. If you're a caregiver, I know you're capable and I know you're strong. So once again, it's a true statement. And I want to get healthier for me. So this is, think of, if we're thinking I'm out of weight and over shape, I might as well not even bother. What kind of action are you going to take from that kind of a thought? It's not going to be a very motivating thought, right? But when you think I am capable and strong and I want to get healthier for me, that is going to be where the motivation is starting, because I'm thinking that empowering thought. The next one is, I've never done this before, so I'll be bad at it. This is a big one for a lot of us, myself included. And so how do I reframe that? This is a wonderful opportunity for me to learn and grow from others. Once again, this is now taking the fear out of it. It's giving me some room to grow and possibly make some mistakes. I don't have to be perfect. I've never done it before. The first time I rode a bike, I didn't ride it without help. But I could see other people could do it. So I just knew I had to practice. So this is all about just practicing this new way of thinking. And then the last one is there's just no way this will work out. Once again, where do you think that's going to bring us? It's probably not going to work out. But how can we reframe that to be more encouraging or more empowering? I can and will give it my all to make it work. And then if it still doesn't, I did the best I could. But most likely it will work out. So basically, these self-talk shifts describe one of my favorite quotes that I have right here on my desk for when I need the reminder to stay out of the ditch with my negative thinking. So here's the quote: stop fighting for your limitations and excuses and start fighting for your possibilities. And I'm going to repeat that. Stop fighting for your limitations and your excuses and start fighting for your possibilities. Once again, we are now getting connected to that possibility versus the hopelessness. And you can hear it in people. It's easier to hear in other people than it is to hear in ourselves. So if you hear someone say, yeah, but, or, this is my life because of my circumstances, really start to just tune into that so you're aware of it. And how do I connect with the possibility instead? What is just one thing I can do? One little tiny thing I can do. So positive self-talk takes practice. It's not our natural instinct. So if you're generally a negative self-talker, most people are. So you're normal. Welcome to the human race. But you can learn to shift that internal dialogue to be more encouraging and be more empowering, which then creates different experiences in your life, because now you're connecting to possibility instead of connecting to hopelessness or lack. And I just want to wrap up the self-talk part with one last quote, which I find super powerful. And once again, I refer to it when I'm resisting shifting my thinking, because it is hard to shift our thinking. So if you are having resistance, that's normal. It's just your critter brain acting up. So this last quote on self-talk is the most powerful form of communication because it can either empower you or defeat you. Once again, self-talk is the most powerful form of communication because it can either empower you or it can defeat you. Just let that land, and I invite you to even write it down. And so I just want to leave you with a gift from me to you. You can practice this anytime, anywhere. And I just want to teach you a super, super easy, intentional breathing technique. As caregivers, we often become stressed, we become overwhelmed, we get anxious with all the uncertainties that caregiving brings. So this is something that you can do in just 2 minutes, that will help you feel calm, cool, and relaxed. We're going to override our central nervous system by practicing a calming breath together. And this is really step one in being in charge of your brain and not letting our emotions hijack us. So I call this the calming breath. So please sit once again with your feet flat on the floor if that's available to you, your spine straight, and your eyes closed if that's uncomfortable. If that's comfortable. So first we're going to take in a long, slow, deep breath in through our nose, filling our lower lungs and then our upper lungs. We're going to hold at the top for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to exhale slowly through pursed lips while we relax the muscles in our face, our jaw, our shoulders, and our stomach. Once again, we're going to take in a long, slow, deep breath in through our nose, filling our lower lungs and then our upper lungs. We're going to hold at the top for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to exhale slowly through pursed lips while you relax the muscles in your face, in your jaw, in your shoulders, and your stomach. And one last time, we're going to take in a slow, Long, deep breath in through our nose, filling our lower lungs and then our upper lungs. Holding at the top for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then exhaling slowly through pursed lips while you relax the muscles in your face, your jaw, your shoulders, and your stomach. And then you can open your eyes when you're ready. And I want to thank you so much for practicing that with me. And I just ask you, just recognize how you feel. How was that for you? Can you notice any, do you feel any more calm and relaxed? Maybe you weren't excited before, but can you feel just maybe a contentness or a relaxedness about you? And maybe be in a place of responding instead of reacting. We're really trying to get out of that fight or flight and into that rest and digest, that parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. We're really trying to shut one off and turn one on. And through this calming breath, we can do it in just 2 minutes. So it's pretty cool that we can override our nervous system, because our brain says, oh, wait a minute, she's breathing like a calm person. She must be calm. So then our heart rate starts to go down, our temperature, all the things that happen. So it's really awesome. So I just invite you to practice this technique when you feel overwhelmed start to come on, or when you just want to be calm or slow down, get off that hamster wheel and just relax. Now, this is the last part of our session. And so I want you to walk away with some real tangible steps that you can take next week in your life that will support you in creating change in your life. I offer my clients action steps at the end of each of our sessions. So I just really invite you to write them down and hang them up where you can see them every day. So here's our action steps. Number 1 is what were you doing when you were becoming priority in your life during the visualization? Add just at least 5 or 10 minutes a day of what you were doing to make yourself a priority, and then intentionally share it with someone. So 2 things here. Whatever you were doing that nourished yourself for just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Maybe it was taking a walk. Maybe for someone else, it was reading a book. It was meditating, listening to your favorite podcast, taking a hot bath. Maybe it's a cup of tea with a candle. It doesn't have to be anything grand. And the second part is sharing it with somebody. Now, why do we do that? The accountability is a huge part of us following through on new things. So you can just share with somebody, I'm really trying to learn to take care of myself now too. Can you just maybe check in with me next week and see if I was able to do XYZ, that this is me practicing, being that priority in my life. And when we have accountability, guess how much higher we show up? 85% higher success rate for follow through when we have a level of accountability. So that's our first piece. The second step is just tune in daily and check in. What does that internal dialogue sound like? Oftentimes people are very shocked at what they hear. And when they start to reframe the internal self-talk, like I said, it can be literally life-changing. So these are not hard. They're actually very easy. A lot of it is just stuff in our brain, just changing our thinking patterns. Number 3 is recognize if you start to go down a rabbit hole with one of the 4 categories that we talked about, because we know that path leads straight to negative self-talk. And then the last action step is use your calming breath. Breath work is so powerful when we use the intentional breathing as a coping skill to calm down, reduce anxiety and stress. So please take these action steps, write them down. I always tell my clients on a Post-it note where you can see them, because it's so great. We're all here and invested, but then life happens, right? We go back and all the stuff is going on. We're back on autopilot. So information does not equal transformation. Where the transformation comes in is the changing, the taking the action. So we have to take action in order to get different results. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Once again, I'm just going to remind you to write it on a Post-it note and see where you can see where you hang out, where you can see it every day. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing this time and space with me today and allowing me to connect with all of you and share the things that have helped changed my life and my clients' life as well. And I just want to share some ways to connect with me. If what I've shared feels supportive and valuable, please reach out. I would love to connect with you. A great way to reach me is email Kaylee, KALEY.Johnson8342@gmail.com. Great way to connect. Also, please join the Healthy Caregiver Facebook group. I offer free events there, free workshops for caregivers, free masterclasses for caregivers, challenges with really fun prizes. We have something going on all year long. So really use that as a resource, the Healthy Caregiver Facebook group. It's a great resource and a place to feel supported for caregivers. And then I offer a support group for caregivers on the third Monday of the month. And you can get the information about my support group from the Healthy Caregiver as well. I always put reminders out, links to join the Zoom. And then I have a website as well called sparkyourjourney.net. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I know how valuable caregiver time is, and I want to congratulate you on taking some time for you today at this conference. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kaylee. We really appreciate you sharing all of those fabulous insights and giving us your time to help us better take care of ourselves. Thank you for joining us today. Let's see. I was trying to see if we had any other Q&As, but it doesn't look like we do. So our favorite time of the day, it's DJ Lex time, because it's time for another gift card drawing. DJ Lex, take it away.
With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time once again to give away a few more gift cards. Who is going to be those lucky winners? I am going to dig way down into the hopper this time and pull out 3 lucky winners.
I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you.
All right, I have 3 winners. Winner number 1 is going to be Louise Schroeder. Congratulations. Winner number 2 is going to be Selena Gideon. Congratulations. And last but not least, we have winner number 3, Carolyn King. Congratulations, guys.
That's what you want to do. Bring me down. Can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down. Can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down. Can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is.
What a great song to do our last gift card giveaway on. It looks like we are pretty near the end of our day, and I am so grateful all of you have had the opportunity to be here. As a friendly reminder, please complete the conference evaluation using the guitar-shaped QR code on the screen right now. The evaluation will also be emailed to each registration attendee on the conference. So be sure to follow the link after the form is completed to be entered to win a gift card drawing. All of your evaluations must be completed by Wednesday, November 8th to be entered to win. If you are using your QR code, all you have to do is open your camera and point it toward the QR code, and it'll scan it, and you click on the link right there on your screen. Also, if you are not currently accessing respite care and have questions, you may indicate that on your evaluation as well. Someone from the CARES team will follow up with you about that. Life is hectic and so stressful right now, and we have a never-ending list of priorities and demands from lots of places and lots of people. If we don't take time to care for ourselves, we may start to experience our own adverse health outcomes. So please make the choice to support you, to re-energize and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. It is your choice to make that happen, so you can start today. Oh, I lied, DJ Lex. There's another gift card giveaway, which is our favorite part, because isn't it great to get rewarded to care for yourself? You've come today, you've taken care of yourself in so many ways. We're helping take care of you too. So DJ Lex has got another track to run for us and some more gift cards to give away.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 lucky winners. I dug extra way down deep to pull out these winners. Who's gonna be winners? We have Maria Reynolds. Congratulations, Maria Reynolds. Winner number 2. We have Gail Sidner. Congratulations. And last but not least, we have Angela Stimson. Congratulations to everyone.
It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't need control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. Under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move where you already know, so just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel the good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance.
Thank you so much, DJ Lex, for that great last tune of the day. I don't know about you. I don't know if you could tell, but DJ Lex and I have had the best time today, jamming and listening and learning and helping share in respite with you all today. And it's been a blast. 6th annual OK Cares Caregiver Conference. Caregivers Rock. We are so grateful that all of you have been here today. This concludes our conference, and we hope that you'll continue to focus on your self-care needs so that you can be the best family caregiver for your loved one. Thank you for all that you do for your family, your loved ones, your communities. You truly rock. Caregivers rock. Goodbye. Take care. Make sure you do your evaluation, and hopefully we'll see you next year.